Hello and welcome to the narrated story of Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Before we begin, I just want to be very clear about something. As the name implies, I will be covering the entire main story of the game. So of course there will be spoilers. And not simply for this game, but for the first title as well. Both are excellent RPGs, so I highly recommend experiencing them for yourself before watching this video. Naturally, that's simply a recommendation. As long as you know what you're in for, I am more than happy to have you. And with that out of the way, enjoy the story.
We're out here awfully late.
True, but I'd say the meeting was worth it. With all the homeless around these days, there's no shortage of mouths to feed. And tonight marks a big step forward in solving that.
I suppose you're right. But dear, I did want to talk about Bryce.
What happened? Someone's out there.
No!
Are we finished? Time for your reward.
Meet Ichiban Kasuga, lovable human Labrador and hero of our story. 4 years earlier, Ichiban became known as the Hero of Yokohama due to his role in the Great Dissolution, which was the disbandment of the two largest Yakuza organizations in Japan. This event had serious repercussions for the country. Thousands of Yakuza were suddenly out on the streets, and due to Japan's 5-year ex-Yakuza clause, many were unable to find employment and reintegrate into society. Now, because of the role he played in their plot, Ichiban considers these down-on-their-luck ex-Yakuza to be his responsibility. So he works to find legitimate jobs for those who genuinely want to reform. One of these ex-Yakuza is a man named Shinya Sasaki, a former member of the Hiwatashi clan and prolific oversharer.
My name's Shinya Sasaki. Pleasure to meet you.
Welcome. Take a seat. Did you happen to bring a resume?
Yes, sir, I did.
May I inquire about your criminal record?
It was theft, watches and cosmetics and the like. I would steal anything valuable I could get my hands on so long as it was small enough. I had a buddy who fenced stuff on the black market, so I usually sell it to him.
I see.
Does that, make things too difficult?
Sasaki-san, may I ask you something?
Sure.
I don't see any record of punishment on here. In that case, why put your criminal history at all?
Because I did those things, sir. If I'd hid my record to get a job, I'd only make trouble for the company if it ever got out. I really want to start fresh. I can't go around acting like that never happened.
That's a great way to think about it. On that note, don't worry. I have just the job for a man like you.
Really? What kind of job?
Well, simply put, shoplifting.
Given his unusual skill set, Ichiban sets him up with Adachi's new security company to find vulnerabilities in security systems for clients. This innocent decision will come back to bite Ichiban and his friends very soon. But for now, things are going well. Ichiban has a job he takes pride in, a close group of supportive friends, and he's celebrated as the hero of Yokohama following the events of the first game. Of course, all good things eventually come to an end. Fast forward a year, and Ichiban's idyllic life is about to come crashing down around him. Ichiban arrives at work to find his contract has been terminated. His services at Hello Work are no longer required, and his supervisor seems oddly sketchy about the details.
My contract's been terminated?
I know. Crazy timing. Remember how it was supposed to renew end of next month? Well, I thought about trying to get you a raise, but just yesterday, City Hall went and denied the renewal. Apparently, the city's budget is getting pretty tight. It seems they've no choice but to start cutting back on contractors.
Right. I see. Understood. Well, let me just say, thank you for putting up with me. I'm guessing I'm done after this month. Well, for what it's worth, I'll be sure to finish strong.
No. We'd actually like it if today could be your last day.
Though the mystery is short-lived. On his way home, Ichiban is accosted by a nuisance streamer who accuses him of using Hello Work as a front to recruit former Yakuza into his own private gang.
Welcome home, Kasuga-san.
Huh? Who the hell are you?
We just want to do a little interview, that's all. You're basically the talk of the town.
And why's that?
You take bribes from former Yakuza, then ship them off to do shady jobs all over town. So, what say you fill us in?
What is this shit?
Come on, the secret's out. Hello Work's a hookup for the Yakuza.
Ichiban, of course, has no idea what he's talking about. It turns out that the streamer is getting his information from something called the Tatara channel, a VTuber with millions of subscribers who is famous for exposing corruption, and Ichiban is the subject of her latest viral video.
Hey, show him the video.
What's up, people? Tatara channel coming at ya. Let's get to it. Ladies and gents, our perp of the day. This man here is Ichiban Kasuga, a former gangster who was heavily involved in the dissolution of two major Yakuza factions 4 years ago. On top of that, some people even call him the hero of Yokohama. This exclusive footage was secretly recorded in Yokohama at a real Hello Work. Here we see none other than Ichiban Kasuga brazenly working the front desk. Meanwhile, the man sitting across from him is yet another former Yakuza.
The hell is this? Sasaki? This was like a misunderstanding!
Ichiban Kasuga seems to be whispering orders to his ex-Yakuza cohort. Then, having received his instructions from Kasuga, the ex-Yakuza leaves Hello Work, only to make a beeline for a mini-mart, a drugstore, and a fancy boutique. We catch him stealing things right off the shelves, even going so far as to use a fake hand.
Hey, hold up. That ain't right.
Finally, it looks like Kasuga then buys the items from his personal thief at a deep discount. According to our extensive research, in just this day, a whopping 2 million yen's worth of product was stolen. Kasuga bought the lot for an unheard of 20 grand. In other words, he's having down-and-out ex-Yakuza steal for him, then making a tidy profit reselling the stolen goods. This is the secret, no, the true face of the hero of Yokohama.
Well, that certainly explains why he lost his job, and why his boss seems so shady about it. Ichiban has been cancelled. Worse still, this isn't just affecting him. Ichiban learns that his two best friends, Namba and Adachi, lost their jobs as well. The bank revoked Adachi's loan, effectively putting him out of business, and Namba was fired the moment he arrived at work, simply for being associated with Ichiban. An anonymous VTuber has now ruined all their lives inside of a single day. A month later, Adachi and Namba stop by with some troubling news. Turns out the Seiryu clan has been bolstering their numbers recently in a big way, taking in members from the disbanded Tojo and Omi. And one of their latest recruits is Shinya Sasaki, the man Ichiban sent to work with Adachi before the Tatara debacle.
Well, lately our old friend the Seiryu clan's been acting mighty suspicious.
The Seiryu clan?
Like, think back a bit. You remember how Captain Takabe became the chairman after Hoshino died?
Yeah, that makes sense, given how the clan's set up.
And did you know that Takabe went to prison?
No, that's news to me.
Right. So here's where things get interesting. Rumor has it, the Yakuza left behind by both the Tojo and the Omi have started gathering under the Seiryu banner. And we're not just talking 10 or 20 guys here.
Huh? You mean...
I mean, the Seiryu clan's been boosting their numbers in a big way, and neither Hoshino nor Takabe would have okayed that. However,
with Chairman Hoshino dead, and Takabe in the slammer.
Exactly. Somebody in the Seiryu clan must be plotting something while their boss is out of commission.
So all those guys who are trying to go straight, they're going back in under the Seiryu clan?
That's not all. Frankly, it gets even worse.
Huh?
Apparently, Sasaki's one of them. He's joined the Seiryu clan too.
Sasaki?
Losing his job really took its toll, I guess. We can't rule out the possibility that he gave up. Living as a civilian might have been too tough.
Ichiban has made it his life's work to help former Yakuza find purpose outside of their clans. And now the Seiryu are trying to reverse all of his hard work. And if you know Ichiban, you know there's no chance he's letting this go. And that means heading to the Seiryu clan headquarters to get some answers. Luckily, he won't have to do it alone.
You're heading to Seiryu Clan HQ, right? Count us in.
But guys...
Oh, but nothing. We're with you on this. Besides, there's no guarantee they'll be willing to hash things out. After everything, you really think we'd leave you to the dogs?
Mm-hmm.
Adachi-san. Namba.
You're stuck with us. And just like that, the party's back together. Let's say we set off on another adventure. Yeah, Mr. Hero?
Yeah. Well, any hero worth his salt needs a weapon to match. So, where'd you stash it?
Stash what?
Like you forgot. Your hero's bad. Don't tell me you tossed it out.
Oh, yeah! It's, well,
Seriously?
The hell is that?
Well, I needed to hang stuff, so...
Then buy a rack or something, man! That thing deserves better.
Sure does. And after my little speech... Honestly, say hero's bad, right? Time to go to work.
Right.
All right, let's roll out.
Actually, can we hold on a sec?
What for?
If I'm going on an adventure, then I'll need to look the part.
And so, with his faithful tank and mage at his side, the hero Ichiban once again takes up his holy bat to defend the weak and smite the evil that preys on them. Now, if you're wondering why I'm suddenly talking like a bard from a bad live-action roleplay, you likely missed out on the first game. But that's okay, I'm here to catch you up. You see, Ichiban is delusional. And I'm not talking the Coldplay is a generational band kind of delusional. I'm talking about the full-on auditory and visual hallucinations kind. You see, like many of us, our hero grew up obsessed with classic RPGs such as Dragon Quest. Unlike us, however, Ichiban suffers from severe mental illness, which manifests as though he is in an RPG. regular street thugs take on grotesque, barely humanoid forms, and his ordinary bat becomes a holy sword which only a chosen hero can wield.
Hey, you old farts done LARPing around? Then how about you give us some spending money?
You won't get much from us. We're dead broke.
You telling me the three of you don't have a single yen on you? I think you're feeding me some bullshit! Now fork over some cash!
Not every random guy you see is loaded, you know. Hey, Hero, I think I see a slime approaching. Ready to put that holy sword to work?
I was just thinking it's been too long. Namba, Adachi-san, you ready?
Yeah!
Yeah, now you're going down.
Huh? Whoa! Did these guys just transform?
Huh? Transform into what?
Didn't he say something like that back in the day? How once he became a hero, the bad guys would change during battle?
Oh yeah. Well, when it comes to fighting, you do you. Just don't get delusional on us.
Wait, so am I the only one? Oh well, more fun for me, I guess.
Okay.
Unsurprisingly, the organized criminal gang doesn't simply invite them inside, so they're forced to go the back way through the sewers. After fighting through hordes of hobos and degenerates, they eventually come out inside the Seiryu courtyard. From here, they just need to sneak through the clan headquarters and reach the chairman's office on the top floor. And by sneak, I of course mean batter, bludgeon, or burn anyone who gets in their way. Though given that they've been working over the city's homeless population for the last hour, a bunch of violent thugs is a nice change of pace. Ichiban and crew arrive at the chairman's office on the top floor, but what they find isn't exactly what they expected. Rather than a ruthless crime lord, they are met by a polite, even-tempered man named Ebina.
I've been managing things in Chairman Takabe's absence. I am Ebina, the clan captain. It's a pleasure to meet you, Ichiban Kasuga-san.
I don't remember seeing you around before.
I'm a new addition. I didn't join the Seiryu until after the Great Dissolution.
And you're already captain? You sure climbed the ladder fast. Based on that, you must be pretty good.
You flatter me. But you see, with the death of the previous chairman and the chaos that followed the Great Dissolution, well, the fact of the matter is we were short-handed. To be even more blunt about it, my promotion was based entirely on how well I earned. As a Yakuza, however, that's not really something to be proud of.
Hey, you're humble, at least.
Let's get back on topic. Chairman Takabe told me what you did for the Seiryu clan, among others. The Ijin 3 are all very much indebted to you. Please excuse me for not reaching out sooner.
What's more, Ebina knows exactly why the party has come. He's aware of Ichiban's commitment to aiding former Yakuza and has pieced together that he's here out of concern for Sasaki. Ebina asks the party to accompany him to a warehouse near the docks. He insists it will all make sense, but that Ichiban needs to see it for himself. Despite their obvious reservations, the party agrees. The group arrives at the warehouse to find the inside converted to fit a system of vaults, with an entire staff of Yakuza loading them with mysterious crates. Ebina explains that this is the Seiryu's newest business venture.
We bought the warehouse the Liumang had been using some time ago. It's here we gather trash from all four corners of the globe. I say trash, but in reality, it's a little more complicated than that. Rather, it's things one can no longer afford to keep. For example, we might receive evidence of a president's adultery, or illicit money transfer records. A scholar may call them pieces of history. But to others, they are cursed objects meant to be destroyed. As to our part, we secretly store these controversial trinkets for safekeeping. And should the client request it, we'll dispose of their trash without hesitation. It's our duty to make clients feel safe, that they might entrust their disposables to this island nation we call Japan.
So, it's like a giant safety deposit box.
Precisely. Each storage container is lined with lead, so even X-rays can't make out their contents. In addition, the interiors are also vacuum sealed to prevent degradation. Naturally, that demands a rather high premium, but we still find ourselves with new inventory almost every day.
So, to clarify, the Seryu's brilliant business plan requires the world's wealthiest, most powerful people to freely hand over their darkest secrets to the Mafia for safekeeping. Hey, give our criminal organization access to potentially ruinous information, and we'll totally be responsible with it. Pinky promise. Not the best sales pitch I can imagine, but it seems to be working for the Seryu. Ebina explains that this business is one of several legitimate ventures intended to provide jobs for Yakuza, with the ultimate goal being a second great dissolution.
I swear, what'll you Yakuza think up next?
Oh, this isn't just some Seryu clan racket. It's our front corporation.
Right, so this is where you're sending those who want out?
Yes. The Omi and Tojo's dissolution changed everything. Many Yakuza who were unable to reintegrate into society have since returned. Not everyone can weather those 5 long years, and thus the Yakuza is all they have. Whatever their reasons, it's estimated they number over 10,000.
There's still that many?
Far as they're concerned, the best option is to side with smaller, local groups like the Seryu clan. Provided at least one organization remains, they will no doubt continue to seek them out. For this reason, Chairman Takabe plans to coordinate with all remaining Yakuza clans and quickly dissolve them as well.
What? You mean all at once?
The Yomei Alliance of Hiroshima, the Kitakata family of Hokkaido, the Ryudo family of Okinawa. Those are just the start, as he's secretly in touch with many other groups as well. He's aptly called this plan the Second Great Dissolution. Should it succeed, then the Yakuza will truly be a thing of the past.
The original dissolution, however well-intentioned, resulted in thousands of ex-Yakuza unable to find work. The Seryu hoped to do things differently. Rather than simply dump former members onto the streets, they plan to employ them. In other words, Ebina is doing exactly what Ichiban was trying to accomplish, only on a much larger scale. This explains why the Seryu are increasing their numbers so rapidly at a time when most Yakuza clans are fading. And as for Sasaki, he's doing just fine.
Kasuga-san, Adachi-san.
Sasaki! Guess you really were here after all, huh?
I'm sorry, to be honest, I came here with the intent of joining the Seiryu clan. But thankfully, Ebina-san said I could stay a civilian.
You've got nothing to apologize for. If you're okay with this, then you have my support.
We will take responsibility and look after Sasaki-san from here on. Is that all right with you?
Honestly, it's amazing what you guys have done. Makes me wonder why I even bothered trying to do it on my own. Anyway, Ebina-san, I ultimately just want to say thank you. This might sound kind of presumptuous of me, but if I may, could I ask you see this through? That no man gets left behind?
Yes, of course. I'll see that it's done.
It appears the guys completely misread the situation. The Seryu aren't taking advantage of down-on-their-luck Yakuza. They're helping them. And in larger numbers than Ichiban alone could dream of. But Ebina still has one final surprise. Before the party can leave, he says there's someone he'd like Ichiban to see. This someone turns out to be none other than Joe Sawashiro, former captain of the Arakawa family and Ichiban's former boss.
It's been a while, Ichi.
Holy shit. Captain Sawashiro?
Now, if you missed the first game, you won't understand why this is so unexpected. You see, Captain Sawashiro is supposed to be in prison for the murder of the Seiryu clan chairman. So how he's walking free and on Seiryu clan turf of all places is baffling. Luckily, Sawashiro is happy to explain.
So, what exactly is going on?
Well, long story short, I wasn't the one who killed Chairman Hoshino 4 years ago.
What?
Awful late to the party, aren't you? Seems even Hoshino got sick of waiting.
Young master, what have you done?
Yeah, I should be asking you. The ruthless Captain Sawashiro I once knew never dragged his ass. But I have a theory. You let it slip that someone was after the old man's head, didn't you? If all went according to plan, Ichiban would come save the day before you made the hit. That's what you were banking on, right? Well, change of plans.
I see. So you sent a guy in ahead of me to ensure the job was done.
I'll make sure the credit goes to you. If it gets around that you off the Seiryu clan chairman, well, you're sure to impress a cellmate or two.
So then, that means I'd lost your trust some time ago, young master.
You're wrong there, Sawashiro. You never had my trust to begin with.
Now, here we need to pause for some backstory. And I apologize because it is really dumb and confusing, but I will try to make it as straightforward as possible. Okay, so the man on the other end of the phone was Ryo Aoki, the villain from the first game. Now, Aoki was raised as the son of Masumi Arakawa, the former patriarch of the Arakawa family, which was the Yakuza clan that Ichiban belonged to. Now, I say raised as Arakawa's son because it turns out he and Ichiban were swapped at birth. So Aoki grew up as Masato Arakawa, the privileged son of a crime lord, while Ichiban was raised in a brothel. Now, due to trauma sustained when he was a baby, Masato spent the majority of his life in a wheelchair. Long story short, he ended up killing a man on the night of his 24th birthday, and Ichiban took the fall for it. Now, while Ichiban was in prison, Masato faked his death and moved to America under the alias of Ryo Aoki to attend college. While he was there, he underwent an experimental procedure which gave him back the use of his legs. He later moved back to Japan with his new name and was elected governor of Tokyo, where he planned to enact his revenge against the Yakuza. Now, it's later revealed that Aoki was actually the biological son of Joe Sawashiro, though Aoki didn't know this when he had his father framed for murder, which mercifully brings us back to the present. Sawashiro explains that Ebina figured out the truth about the chairman's murder and got him out of prison. Ebina needed a Yakuza with Sawashiro's reputation to keep the grunts in line, so he offered him a place in the Seiryu to help oversee the Second Great Dissolution. Sawashiro reveals that it was his idea to bring Ichiban here tonight, But it wasn't to reminisce about the past. He has a request to make of Ichiban. He won't say what it is yet, but he asks Ichiban to get a passport and meet him at Heian Tower to learn more. As requested, Ichiban obtains a passport and meets Sawashiro at Heian Tower to learn about this mysterious task. Fair warning, there will be a lot of backstory in this part.
So, what's this favor you're asking?
I'm sending you to Hawaii. There's someone there who wants to meet you.
Hawaii? Who is it?
Well, it's your mother.
What?
She's the one woman the boss truly loved. Akane-san.
This comes as quite a surprise to Ichiban, considering his mother is supposed to be dead. As far as he knew, she was killed soon after he was born, hunted down by the Hikawa family for the crime of loving Masami Arakawa. It turns out that this was only partially true, and not even Masami Arakawa knew the entire story.
No, but Akane-san, I heard she was killed. Heck, Arakawa-san told me himself. The Hikawa family hunted her down. You know, the guys Arakawa-san used to roam with.
Right, well, that may be what the boss believed. But it's not entirely true. Prior to the boss's departure, the patriarch of the Hikawa family hoped to marry Arakawa-san to his daughter. That's how much he liked him. You might even say the patriarch wanted him as his heir. But as fate would have it, the boss was already together with Akane-san, so he had to fearfully turn down the offer.
Right.
That was it. And the patriarch's rage upon hearing the news was more than the boss could have ever imagined. In a sudden turn, he tried to kill both the boss and Akane-san, who at the time was pregnant with you.
Arakawa survived the attack and went on a one-man crusade inside of Hikawa headquarters to find Akane. When he confronted the patriarch, he learned that Akane had escaped on a boat bound for the Philippines, but that contract killers were still on her trail. If he wanted to see Akane alive again, Arakawa had to force the patriarch to call off the hit. Sadly, he underestimated just how spiteful the old man could be.
Wherever she may be, she won't have much longer to live. The hounds are already on her trail, and once they sniff her out, it's feeding time, down to the very last bone. Whether I live or die makes no difference. My orders are absolute.
Then make new orders. Tell whoever you hired, you're calling it off.
The plan's already in motion. Give it up.
You piece of shit! Tell your men to stand down, or they'll be dead just like you, Hikawa!
That's the spirit, Arakawa. Oh, I've been wanting to see that face, to hear you scream like the little brat you are!
Make the call! Do it already!
One really has to wonder, though, how bad is your bitch holding up?
The boss continued torturing the Hikawa patriarch until he breathed his last. But no matter what he did, the madman kept on laughing. Till the bitter end.
Arakawa searched for Akane for years afterwards, exhausting every available lead, but since she never contacted him, he assumed she was dead. A decade later, however, Arakawa received a tip that a woman who looked very much like Akane was living in Hawaii. But Arakawa, convinced it was another dead end, sent Sawashiro to check it out rather than going himself. Now, after years of fruitless searching, Sawashiro fully expected this to be another fool's errand. Yet, to his surprise, the woman he found in Hawaii was Akane. But rather than reason to celebrate, this actually presented a serious problem for Sawashiro.
Anyway, off I went. Eventually, I found her. It was Akane's son, no doubt about it.
And she was safe and sound?
She was. About as safe as you can get. Granted, that presented a bit of a problem for me.
Huh?
Say all went well, and she returned to the boss. Akane's son would inevitably want to meet her child. And in that case, she'd quickly see that her son's been living with a handicap since the transfer at the coin locker. Now, she might at first say that just being able to reunite is enough. But eventually, she'd want to know about his condition. And she'd probably ask how that happened. Before long, she and the boss would be comparing their memories from that night. Then it'd hit. They'd realize they transferred their baby at different lockers. How then would they treat Masato Arakawa, the young master, the boy they believed was theirs?
Well...
No one truly knows what would have happened. But I did know this. As long as Akane's son kept out of Japan, everything here'd stay the same. Neither I nor the young master would have to suffer.
Wait, then you flew out to Akane-san too?
Exactly. When I saw Akane-san, I was planning to kill her. Even I couldn't help trembling. I had every intention to get rid of the woman the boss loved. However, I ended up walking away, all thanks to something she said.
If anyone asks, I've been dead a long time.
So the two agreed that Sawashiro would report back to Arakawa that she was dead. And that's exactly what he did. For all Masami Arakawa knew, Akane was dead and had been for years. Now, after Arakawa's death, Sawashiro wrote a letter to Akane and finally told her the truth about her son, who she now wants to meet. Ichiban agrees, and with that, our heroic schizophrenic says goodbye to Japan and boards a plane for the sunny climes of Hawaii. Ichiban wakes as the plane touches down to find a group of flight attendants struggling to lift a young man into a wheelchair. Ichiban, of course, grew up taking care of Masato Arakawa, so he steps in to lend a hand.
Mind if I take over?
Yes, please. Thank you.
No need to be so gentle with it. Just lift him by his belt here. Like a sumo in his loincloth. See?
Thanks for lending a hand, sir. We appreciate the help.
No. If anything, I was being too nosy.
I wouldn't call helping a stranger out nosy. I take it you've done this before?
Well, an old friend of mine spent most of his life in a wheelchair, so...
yeah, that would do it then.
Anyway, you here on vacation?
You could say that, yeah.
Right on. Well, let's make the most of it, huh? Later.
Thanks again. Oh, hui-ho.
Who what now?
Hui-ho. It's like saying, until next time.
No, okay. Hui-ho!
So Ichiban has an envelope with Akane's address courtesy of Sawashiro. Now he just needs to find a cab driver who speaks Japanese. Remember, I'm using the English dub for the listener's convenience, but Ichiban only speaks Japanese canonically. Surprisingly, however, this doesn't take too long. He finds a friendly half-Japanese cabbie waiting just outside of the airport.
Aloha! This mean anything to you?
Do I speak Japanese?
Oh, you can read it!
You just come in from Japan? I got you. Now, hop in.
Hey, all right!
Where to?
Here's the address. Look familiar?
That's a good ways away.
Oh, really? Is it gonna be a long drive?
First time in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Cool. Welcome to the island. Hope you have a nice time.
It's dark out before Ichiban realizes something is wrong. When he looked up the address, it was closer to the suburbs, but he appears to be going in the wrong direction. By the time he mentions the discrepancy, it's too late. The cabbie suddenly whips the car into a nearby alley and pulls a gun on our hero. Unfortunately for our petty thief, Ichiban has had enough guns pointed at him to know when someone is bluffing.
See, this is why I love the Japanese. Butter them up just a little, and they'll trust almost anyone.
Should I be putting my hands up?
You can stay as is, long as you're quiet. I'll want your wallet and your smartphone. And you know what happens if you say no, don't you?
You're gonna shoot me? You? Really?
You bet your ass.
I ask because I don't think you can.
Huh?
A lot of people say America's some gun-crazy cowboy country. But I doubt many of those cowboys know what it really means to pull the trigger.
The hell's your point? Hey!
You want to know if someone's gonna shoot you? Look at their eyes. A little practice, and you'll get the hang of it.
But, hey!
Didn't think Japan would know how to strike back, huh? Maybe now you'll think twice.
Without his gun, the cabbie is no match for Ichiban in a fight. But he isn't out of tricks yet. Before Ichiban can take back the envelope with Akane's address, the cabbie swallows it and signals for a couple of nearby cops. Using the language barrier as a weapon, he tells the police that Ichiban attempted to rob him.
Officer, help! I am being robbed! This hoodlum won my money, and he pointed a gun right at me!
Wait a sec! Don't tell me you're seriously buying this crap! Are you?
All right, smart guy. Put your hands in the air and turn around!
Okay, hang on. I'm doing it.
Get on your knees, right now!
I can explain. I swear I just got into town. I haven't robbed anyone.
Come on, arrest that scumbag! I'm pissing myself over here!
Damn it! Why me? This is bullshit!
Better luck next time, asshole.
Luck, however, is on Ichiban's side, as the wheelchair guy from earlier shows up out of nowhere and explains to the police what happened. He even got the entire incident on video so the cops can see it for themselves.
Hey, you're the Yakuza guy.
Who you should be arresting is the driver. He's the real thief. And if you need proof, I recorded the whole thing. Here.
Hey, freeze!
Turns out that wheelchair guy's name is Eiji Mitamura, and he apparently followed Ichiban from the airport. He knew how often Japanese tourists are taken advantage of in Hawaii, and had a bad feeling about the cabbie. So he told them just in case something was amiss. And what's more, Eiji has some skills with editing software and believes he can retrieve Akane's address from the footage. So the two head towards the hotel where Eiji is staying so he can work his magic.
How's it look, Achan? Can you pull it off?
Well, I'm gonna run the image through analysis right now. We'll know soon enough.
Unreal. I'm totally clueless with this stuff.
Well, I could never fight off some lunatic cab driver. Okay, analysis complete. As for the address... I think we got it.
Holy crap! How did you do that?
Hey, I'm just glad I could help.
You're the man! Thanks so much, Achan!
Unfortunately, before they can celebrate this win, a gang of thugs break in, led by a Japanese Yakuza named Yamai. And with them is a familiar face, the thieving cabbie from earlier. Ichiban has been in Hawaii for less than a day, and he's already managed to cross organized crime.
I take it you didn't come for an autograph. Your little taxi scheme went south, and now you want to settle the score, is that it?
While it is true that Tomizawa here botched the job all by himself, the car he got impounded belongs to my syndicate.
Oh yeah? You trying to tell me there are Yakuza in Hawaii?
Not exactly something you'd find in a guidebook, is it? On that note, someone's going to need to reimburse us.
I'll level with you, Yamai-san. I have no idea how the Yakuza operate out here in Hawaii. But what I do know is you've got it ass backwards. If anybody's gonna reimburse you, it should be him.
I do see your logic. The problem is, he's worthless. That's some fine-looking tech you got there.
Don't you goddamn dare! If you want to fight, you got one. But leave Achan out of this.
Kasuga-san, all that's left of your envelope is on there. I didn't think to back up that image, so if they take my laptop...
Got it. But don't worry. I won't let him anywhere near you.
The odds don't seem to favor Ichiban, but luckily he's not alone. Achan can't exactly fight, but thanks to the power of mental illness, he's functionally a bard on wheels. You see, Ichiban's schizophrenia interprets his words of encouragement as attack and defense buffs. So with Achan's help, Ichiban takes out Yamai and they make their escape. Once the two are safely away from Yamai and his thugs, they part ways. And now, with the address in hand, Ichiban finally heads to meet his mother. A very nervous Ichiban arrives at his mother's place, but the touching reunion will have to wait, it seems. As he opens the door, the scene fades to black. The next time we see our hero, he's trying to explain to a cop why he was wandering around naked on the beach.
So, you just woke up on the beach out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Balls swaying in the breeze.
Yeah.
On top of that, you have no idea how it happened.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to cut the crap here. I can make up better bullshit in my sleep. Sleep that I never get. Thanks to all you Japanese folks running around, needing help or making trouble.
I know it sounds like bullshit, but I'm telling the truth. And why would I be lying? I'd just be digging my own grave.
Well, at least you're not a druggie. Nothing crazy on your report. Guess you're just another sick pervert. But hey, your country's famous for weird shit. Like the anime porn or the panty machines, huh?
Would you just listen? I'm telling you, I'm the victim! Call it robbery, grand theft even! My passport, my wallet, my clothes, my underwear! She did me so dirty!
It turns out that when Ichiban entered the home, rather than his mother, he found a ridiculously hot Japanese girl who introduced herself as Chitose. Claiming to be a maid, she told Ichiban that Akane wouldn't return until the next day and offered him a place to crash for the night. Unfortunately, Chitose ended up drugging him, stealing his passport, and leaving his naked, unconscious body on the beach. When Ichiban woke, he was surrounded by gawking beachgoers who understandably assumed he was some kind of pervert. The police were called and Ichiban was taken into custody. So now Ichiban is sitting in an interrogation room, trying to explain to a corrupt cop the perfectly innocent reason he was walking around naked on the beach. The cop isn't buying it, though mostly because he doesn't want to. He gives Ichiban a choice: cough up a nice fat payoff or get framed for a random unsolved murder.
Oh, no one's on your side, huh? Well, that's a crying shame. Now, what do I want to put you down for? Don't want to waste you on something petty. But when was the last big...
Hey, what are you mumbling about?
Oh yeah, that one case. It happened a half a year ago on River Street. Some money-waving tourist got mugged. Lost nearly everything on him, including his life. Took him 3 months just to get off the respirator.
All right, what's that got to do with me?
Oh, I'm getting to that. See, to this day, we don't have a clue who did it. It's our job to protect the peace. But when a crime like that goes unsolved, that's a problem, right?
Well, that's your problem, not mine.
Buddy, you are slow on the uptake. I'm saying you are that culprit.
What?
Right now, you don't have a single shred of proof to defend you. So I can turn you into any criminal I want. But hey, you'll be doing society a favor. Us cops can recover our image, and the public can sleep better at night.
Of course, Ichiban just had all his money stolen, so a bribe is out. It looks like he'll have to do this the hard way. As he's being escorted to a cell, Ichiban attacks the officer and escapes onto the streets of Hawaii. He manages to evade the police for the time being, but without funds and still in handcuffs, it's only a matter of time before he's back in custody. Luckily, an unexpected savior comes to his aid.
Freeze. Hands up. A fitting end for the hero of Yokohama. I doubt Masumi Arakawa would approve. Long time no see, Kasuga.
Whoa. Kiryu-san? Is that you?
Who else would it be?
Well, it's just... you seem a lot different than before.
How about now?
Yeah, that's the Kiryu-san I know. But why are you even here?
Now's not the time. For starters, let's see that other hand.
Okay. Much better. But hey, have you always been this handy?
More or less. Let's move.
Once they gain some distance from the cops, Kiryu explains that he's in Hawaii on a mission from a shadowy Japanese intelligence group known as the Daidoji faction. 7 years ago, the Daidoji helped Kiryu fake his death to protect the people he loves, and he's been working for them ever since.
Well, I'm actually here on a job. I came to Hawaii to find someone, so I've been hitting the streets for intel, and that's when I heard about you.
I guess I'm lucky your job took you here then. You saved my ass just now. By the way, when you say you're on a job...
Guess I should start from the top. You know I'm dead on paper, right?
Yeah. I heard it's to protect your family.
Ever since I made that choice, there can't be a trace of me anywhere. And to prevent any slip-ups, any move I make is under watch. The Watchers are the Daidoji faction. They keep our economy flowing and our leaders' hands clean. At least, on the surface.
Sounds like fun people.
Well, they requested that I take a certain job.
Kiryu's assignment is to find and secure a target who is important to Japan's national security. The Daidoji are characteristically light on details. Kiryu wasn't even given a name, only a photo and some basic background information. For now, however, he's decided to help Ichiban escape the police and get his passport back. And to do that, they'll need to track down this mysterious Chitose. So the two decide that the best course is to head back to Akane's place and look for clues. But first, they need rest, so they drive to Kiryu's hideout at a local bar called Revolve. Revolve acts as a sort of base of operations for the party, just like Survive in a Jinsho. The next morning, the two head to Akane's place, hoping to track down Chitose. They don't find much on that account, but they do learn something interesting. Kiryu's target and Ichiban's mother are the same person. The Daidoji sent Kiryu to Hawaii to find Akane.
Kiryu-san, you find anything?
No, I can't say I have. But let me ask you something.
What's up?
You're sure this is Akane-san's address? The place her mother lives?
It should be. Not that I've actually seen her here, but...
How about this then? Is Akane-san the woman in this photo?
What the? She looks older, but yeah, that's her. Wait, what are you doing with her photo, Kiryu-san? What's going on here?
Remember how the Daidoji ordered me to find and detain a certain someone? Akane-san's that someone.
What? You're telling me some government spy rings after my mom?
I don't know why, but that seems to be the case.
Before they can wrap their heads around this revelation, however, some unexpected guests arrive. It seems Yamai and his goons are also after Akane, though for what reason Ichiban and Kiryu can only guess. The two try to escape without a fight, but Tomizawa, the cabbie from earlier, catches up to them first and, once again, pulls a gun on Ichiban. It's still clear, though, that he doesn't want to shoot. He looks more desperate than angry. When Ichiban doesn't back down, Tomizawa explains that he's only working with Yamai out of fear, which isn't hard to believe considering we recently saw Yamai beat him with a crowbar. So Ichiban, being Ichiban, offers him a way out.
What? What'd you say?
I said, we can help you, and I meant it. We'll make sure Yamai never lays a hand on you again. You can count on that.
Why? Why though? After everything I did to you? Do I look like a fucking moron?
You look like you're about to shit your pants. Believe me though, I've been there. Where all you want to do is scream for help, but you know no one will answer. That's a dark place to be. Thing is, sometimes you will get an answer. I learned that from a man who bailed me out when I was just a young punk on the streets. So I figured I ought to pay it forward. And now would be the time.
The heart-to-heart is interrupted when Yamai arrives and orders Tomizawa to kill Ichiban and Kiryu. But Tomizawa heard enough to make his choice. He turns on Yamai and sides with the good guys. Unfortunately, the rest of Yamai's men aren't as reasonable. The new allies are badly outnumbered, but with Tomizawa's help, Kiryu and Ichiban are able to clear a path to a nearby truck and make their escape. Back in the city, Kiryu gives Ichiban and Tomizawa some background on Yamai. Turns out that he was originally a member of the Tojo clan under the Tabata family in Japan. The Tabata dissolved shortly before Ichiban joined up after Yamai killed the clan patriarch.
It was patricide? No way.
Something I'm no stranger to? Well, that's all in the past.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't trying to accuse you or anything.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, from the look of it, the murder was a crime of passion.
Huh. Hard to imagine Yamai being passionate about anything.
That's what the police said anyway. Apparently, Yamai had feelings for Yui Tabata, the patriarch's wife.
No wonder that didn't end well.
Yeah, and when her husband found out, he got into the fight that ended his life. Yamai then tried to assault Yui, who was present at the scene. After the dust settled, she testified everything he'd done to the police.
What happened to him then?
He was branded a traitor to the Tojo clan, and everyone went after his head. But by then, he'd up and disappeared. Nobody'd seen him since. Years later, he surfaced over here in Hawaii, while back home, the Tojo clan was crumbling.
After the history lesson, the guys determine that Akane must be in hiding. She hasn't been home in 10 days, and now they know for certain that the Yakuza is after her as well. With Chitose still their best lead, the guys decide to redouble their efforts in finding her. Luckily, Tomizawa knows of a guy named Jeff who buys documents like IDs and passports. If Chitose tried to sell Ichiban's passport, there's a good chance Jeff will know about it. But it's late for now, so they decide to return to the hotel for the evening and visit Jeff tomorrow. That night, Kiryu and Ichiban learn about yet another gang in the area, one that's much larger than Yamai's operation. Looking out the window in the hotel, they see a large group of thugs, many armed, wandering through the city like they own the place. Tomizawa explains that these are the Barracudas, a gang made up of the local poor and homeless. At some point, they banded together and started taking their anger out on innocent people. Every Monday night, they hit the streets together as a show of force, intimidating the locals, taking what they please, and hurting anyone who gets in their way. As the guys watch the display, a homeless man attempts to pickpocket one of the thugs. He's caught immediately and dragged into an alley by the Barracudas. The party rushes to help the man, but they're too late.
Hey! You still with us?
Hold it.
What's up?
You guys don't want to see this. Trust me.
What? Is he okay or not?
Hey! Insane. They just cut him wide open.
The last thing we want is to join him. We need to move fast. Hurry!
Get up, man. We gotta go.
The message is simple and clear. The Barracudas don't screw around. The next day, Tomizawa leads the way to a taco truck run by Jeff. For a modest fee, Jeff explains that Chitose came by, but not to sell.
I've got your money. Is this enough to get you to talk?
I suppose. What should I be talking about again?
My passport got stolen 3 days ago. I want to know if someone brought it by.
Someone sure did.
Really?
She was Japanese, and not to mention gorgeous. No doubt that passport was yours. I couldn't forget that thuggish face or blown up hair if I tried.
Okay, so she sold it to you?
Oh no, she wasn't here to make money. She just wanted to know if it would get her into District 5.
District 5?
That's the Barracuda's hideout.
Their hideout? You mean the guys from yesterday?
Yeah, they got a squatter encampment across the river. It's all fenced in with guards posted up at every corner. And if you're not one of them, no good luck getting in or out.
This doesn't bode well for Ichiban's passport, but at least they know where to find Chitose now. Of course, the guys aren't particularly thrilled at the notion of stealing a passport, so they ask Jeff about an alternate way inside. It turns out that a group of corrupt cops patrol the area once a week, and by patrol I mean they accept bribes to ignore everything they see inside. The cop in charge is named Roman, and he can be found at a bar near District 5 called Diamond Head. Jeff says it's a waste of time, unless they have a spare $50K lying around, but Kiryu isn't concerned. The Dragon of Dojima is an expert negotiator, after all. As they leave, Tomozawa tries to talk Ichiban and Kiryu out of entering District 5. He has a history with the Barracudas, and it's not a pleasant one. A few years back, Tomi was an honest cabbie with a woman he loved named Marie and a child on the way. But this happy life ended abruptly when the police knocked on the door one day with an arrest warrant.
It all happened a few years back. I was just a simple taxi driver. No yamai, no cons, nothing like that.
So you really were an honest cabbie. Once.
Yeah, well, I also wasn't rich, but I was happy. I had a woman to love, and man, did she love me. I believe we almost had a kid. And looking back, those were the best days of my life.
Huh, never knew you had a family.
And my girl, her name was Marie. She was astounding. And you guys would have loved her. Anyway, she was nearly 6 months pregnant when it happened. And the cops showed up at our place with a warrant for my arrest.
They came to arrest you? For what?
They said I held up a cab and stole a bunch of money from some executive.
What the hell?
I was being framed, obviously. But the witnesses kept pouring in. And before I knew it, the judge gave me 5 years in prison. And the attorney had told me if I tried pleading innocent, they'd lock me for 15 years instead.
So you pled guilty then?
Yeah. It was either I swallow the 5 years or take the risk and triple it. And I was too broke to hire a better lawyer. It was like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I had my whole life ahead of me, and then in an instant, it was gone. I never even understood why. That is, till I got to prison. Turns out I wasn't the only one screwed over like this. They told me so themselves.
You mean the guys in prison?
Yeah. Apparently, the Barracudas get away with so much shit because their boss will set up innocent people instead. He'll bring in a bunch of fake witnesses or buy out the police if he has to. You remember Roman, that cop Jeff mentioned? He's the guy pulling the strings on the law side. Seems not a lot's changed since then.
So the Barracudas have the police in their pocket.
How'd Marie take it?
When I got locked up, she only came to see me once. She told me she miscarried.
No.
And she was under so much stress. Should have seen it coming. I doubt she was eating right or getting any sleep. Her eyes were sunken. She was thin as a bone. All because of this bullshit that happened to me. And that was the last I saw of her. When I got out, couldn't find a single trace of her. Honestly, I just hope that she's out there doing okay.
So this is why Tomizawa fell in with Yamai's gang. When he got out of prison, he was broke and in debt. Legal expenses had bankrupted him, and he wasn't exactly earning an income in prison. So he turned to Yamai's organization out of desperation. Tragically, Tomizawa only became a criminal after spending time in prison. Of course, if Tomizawa knew anything about Kiryu or Ichiban, he'd have realized this story would only strengthen their resolve to enter District 5. Rather than dissuade them, it only added punishing the Barracuda's leader to their to-do list. So, with that settled, the party sets off to track down Roman. The party arrive at the Diamond Head to find Roman drinking at the bar, just as Jeff said. And just like Jeff said, he's a grade A tool bag. He doesn't outright ask for a bribe, but he makes it very clear how grateful he'd be if some generous soul purchased a $50,000 sports car for his son. Kiryu's counteroffer is a little less generous.
Whatever happened to protect and serve, huh?
Roman. If all you're after is money, you'll have to try someone else. Now, I suggest you take us to District 5 before things get out of hand.
What did you just say?
Also, we'll need his record cleared of any and all false charges. You're hardly the first cop I've seen point a gun. But the ones I know only do it to save a life, to uphold the values they believe in.
Stay back.
Maybe I have no right to say this, but seeing scum like you hold a badge, it makes me sick.
I said stay back!
Well, that was reckless. All I'm doing is talking, and yet you pop one off.
Don't just stand there.
Tomizawa, ready for action?
Never been more ready.
No need to go soft, boys. I want to see these fuckers in a coma!
After a heart-to-heart with Kiryu, Roman is in a much more cooperative mood. He agrees to clear Ichiban's name and escort the party into District 5 for free.
You're gonna wipe every last charge your boys gave me. Right now, I can't even take a step on this beautiful island without looking over my shoulder. And that pisses me off.
All right. Fine.
Thank you, officer.
Don't forget, we also need access to District 5.
You don't know what you're asking. It's not some asinine tourist trap.
Believe me, we're not here to play around. We're looking for a girl who's in there.
I'll level with you. I can get you in, simple enough. But if the Barracudas found out, there'd be hell to pay.
You saying they're a bigger threat than I am? Think about that carefully.
Okay, let's just be cool here, yeah? Meet me tomorrow in front of District 5. Be there at noon, on the dot.
That's more like it.
That night at the hotel, Kiryu drops a bombshell on Ichiban and Tomizawa. The Dragon of Dojima has cancer, and the doctors give him months to live.
Just be aware that everything has to end sometime. You can always turn a new leaf, but you can't turn back the clock. All you get is the precious time you're given. That's why you've got to live every last moment to the fullest. I figured I knew that well enough already. But to my surprise, I still had a lot left to learn.
Kiryu-san?
Did something happen?
Yeah. If anyone deserves to know, it's the guys who have my back. Thing is, I've got cancer. Seems I've got half a year left, at most.
Kiryu explains that he was working in a nuclear waste disposal facility when a forklift driver had a heart attack. With the driver unconscious, the forklift crashed into waste barrels and released toxic fumes into the air. Kiryu ran to help, but a barrel fell on him and broke his respirator. He rescued the dying man, but breathed in a lot of the waste in the process. And while he can't be certain the cancer is linked to this event, the symptoms began not long after. Kiryu doesn't want to make a big deal of it, but he figured Ichiban and Tomizawa deserve to know he's not 100%. Ichiban doesn't exactly take the news well. He begs Kiryu to rest and leave the fighting to him. Of course, the Dragon of Dojima isn't about to walk away and leave his friends to fight in his place, but he does promise Ichiban that he'll share the load and try not to do everything himself. Kiryu's been a one-man army for so long that he's forgotten how to rely on other people, but he agrees to try. The next day, the party heads for District 5 to meet Roman, and true to his word, he gets them inside. He claims they are Japanese tourists with more money than sense, so the Barracudas welcome them in with open arms. District 5 turns out to be just as rough as advertised. It's overrun with armed thugs and social outcasts, all of whom are itching for a fight. One wrong move could spell disaster, even for the likes of Kiryu and Ichiban. Luckily, however, it doesn't take long to get a lead on Chitose. Apparently, a smoking hot Japanese chick stands out in a place like this, and a fight broke out to determine which violent degenerate would claim her. The only problem is that this went down in a particularly dangerous part of District 5 called West Block.
It just had to be West Block.
Huh? What's West Block?
A sector all the way at the ass end of District 5. A lot of bums like to drink and gamble there. Real rough crowd on a good day.
You really think so? Is she gonna be okay?
Actually, it's a smart move on her part. Pal up to the strongest guy on that end, and it's easy living from there on. Of course, nothing comes for free. Even in a rat hole like this.
And you seriously call yourself a cop? Anyway, West Block's waiting. Let's go.
Despite Roman's warning, the group heads straight for West Block to get some answers. After asking around, they learn that a man named Jose won the fight over Chitose, and that he's protective of her to the point of paranoia. Apparently, he keeps her locked away in his tent to avoid even the possibility of competition. With some persuasion, the party learns where they can find Jose and decide to pay him a visit. Unfortunately, Jose isn't particularly accommodating. Despite Ichiban's insistence that he only wants to speak with Chitose, Jose is convinced he's trying to steal his prize.
You're Jose, right? We're looking for a woman named Chitose. You know her?
You got a thing for my girl?
You just say his girl? Look, I'm not here to mess with whatever you got going on. I just want to ask her something. So, can I see her?
Buzz off. I decide who she sees, and I say no.
Come on, man, this is important. The girl stole my passport. I just want it back.
I see. You're from the outside and came to steal her back. That it? No wonder I didn't recognize you. Well, you better think twice, pal. No way I'm letting that sweet little thing go.
Man, what part of I just want my passport do you not get? Open your ears. I just want to ask her something and go.
We're done here. Hey, boys! Getting rid of these clowns.
Once his goons are dealt with, Jose decides honesty is the best policy. He explains that Chitose is gone. She only used him to discover how to get to the underside, which is the heart of the Barracuda's operation.
So, where's Chitose?
Well, you see, She ran off.
She ran off?
It was that first night. She was offering me drinks. Got a little carried away and sipped one too many.
I've heard that story before.
Hey, she drugged me, okay? And wait, if that happened on the first night, then...
All right, look, I didn't bang her or nothing. You happy? She was gone before I knew it.
Yet you still went around bragging like she was your property. What an asshole. Anyway, then what?
She was asking me about the Barracudas and how she could meet them and whatnot. So I told her how to get to the underside.
Roman claims that entering the underside is a death sentence and tries to back out. But Kiryu once again brings his bargaining skills to bear, and Roman reconsiders. Begrudgingly, he leads them to the underside entrance. But it seems even cops on the payroll need permission to enter this part of District 5. So Roman bribes the guards to let the party through. After descending a ladder and trekking through a system of tunnels, the party finds themselves in what appears to be the Anaconda Shopping Center, a large mall on the west side of Hawaii. Roman explains that this was built as an air raid shelter after Pearl Harbor, but went unused for decades. The Barracudas found it and remodeled the place to look like the Anaconda for use in their bootleg clothing operation.
So this is the underside of District 5.
It used to be an air raid shelter, built after you boys bombed our asses at Pearl Harbor. But it went untouched, and now it's just another relic of the war. Fast forward a half-century to when the Barracudas came across it. Remodeled it in no time flat. Everything you see here, no matter how real it looks, is a District 5 original. Made in-house.
They're knockoffs?
Oh, they're more than just your average knockoffs. These are perfect replicas, down to the very last stitch. Patterns on the fabric included. Crazy bastards smuggle it out of the actual factories. How? I have no idea.
That is crazy.
One could almost say they do designer brands better than the designers. And that's what makes this the greatest counterfeit market on Earth, as well as the biggest.
What's more, most of their customers are representatives of legitimate retailers. Barracuda knockoffs are sold in department stores around the world. It turns out that the real reason the Barracudas accept so many poor and homeless into their ranks is for use as cheap labor. The tent city residents make the goods, and the higher-ups sell them. After the explanation, Roman leads them into the heart of the operation. Unfortunately, their tour is cut short when their guide is abruptly let go by management.
Oh, Roman! Hey, who you got there with you?
Oh, these guys? They're no one. Anyway, what happened here? You shut the whole place down?
Yeah, didn't want to stain the merchandise.
Stain it? Oh, come on, man. You don't think that I would come...
Roman! You really thought you could bring in outsiders to the core of our operation, pendejo? I take it you're no ordinary tourists. Now start talking. Or would you rather spill your guts for real?
All right. We're looking for a girl named Chitose. You ever heard of her?
Kill him.
After dispatching the machete-wielding psychos, the party heads deeper into the Barracuda facility. But the constant fighting is clearly taking a toll on Kiryu, so they are forced to hide until he can recover. Luckily, there's an empty room nearby where they can take a break and plan their next move. But it turns out that this room wasn't as empty as they thought.
What now, though? We've been winging it so far. We need a plan.
Yeah, we do.
Believe me, you're not the only one. It's been a minute, Kasuga-san. How's Hawaii treating you?
Chitose-chan!
Chitose? You mean this is her? This is the girl that tricked you and stole your shit?
More importantly, she's the only person who has a connection to Akane-san. I didn't expect her to come to us herself.
These two are new to me. Friends of yours, Kasuga-san? I'm Chitose. Nice to meet you.
Chitose explains that the Barracudas are also after Akane. It seems she wasn't lying when she claimed to work for Ichiban's mom. But about 2 weeks ago, Akane suddenly vanished without paying her. When Ichiban stopped by, Chitose was there hoping to find her paycheck. Of course, that doesn't quite explain why she would drug Ichiban and leave him naked on the beach. It turns out that Chitose is the eldest daughter of the wealthy Fujinomiya family. Being an exchange student, she's not legally allowed to work in the US, so if Ichiban called the police, she could be arrested and her family humiliated. So she took the nuclear option with Ichiban, hoping he would be too busy evading the police to track her down. From there, she used Ichiban's passport to enter District 5, hoping to disappear until things blew over. Of course, what Ichiban and Kiryu are really interested in is why the Barracudas want Akane, and how Chitose is connected.
Okay, so apparently it's rare for someone like me to turn up around here. Soon as I entered District 5, they took me straight to the guy in charge.
Wait. You mean the Barracuda's boss?
Yeah. And after we talked, he seemed to take a liking to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't look too unhappy about it. What then?
Well, then, the boss decided to keep me at his hideout.
And by keep, you mean...
Look, I'm sure you can piece it together for yourself. Anything was better than having my family find out. At least, that's what I told myself. But it was kind of a bust. He never even made a move. I mean, maybe he's just been stressed out or something.
The hell do I say to that?
They gave me a room and everything, but I was bored out of my mind in there. They told me not to leave the room, but I snuck out and explored a bit anyway. Next thing you know, I find this in the boss's study.
That's Akane-san!
There's all kinds of info about her on here. Address, phone number, height, facial features.
Ew, hey, wait a second. Yamai had this too.
Right. He's after her, same as these guys. What's it all mean? Why are all these gangsters chasing after Akane-san?
I don't know, but it's worth noting I found this in the trash. That probably means he doesn't need this anymore, right? More than that, couldn't it mean the Barracudas actually got to her? With that in mind, I thought there might be a chance they were holding her somewhere nearby. That's why I started snooping around all their factories and stuff. But a bunch of lackeys caught on to me, and now I've been branded some kind of traitor. Long story short.
Despite their rough first meeting, Ichiban decides it's best to team up. Chitose knows the way to the Barracuda's leader, who is their best lead currently for finding his mother. And it turns out Chitose isn't just a pretty face. She's been trained in martial arts since she was a child and is quite handy in a fight. So with that settled, the party sets off to find the Barracuda leader. After navigating a series of security lasers and fighting through a group of deranged runway models, the party boards an elevator which leads them to the Crystal Aloha Resort, the fanciest hotel in Hawaii and current headquarters of the Barracuda's leader. It doesn't take long for the welcoming committee to arrive, and the party is forced to fight their way to a guest elevator to reach the top. But just before they board, Chitose claims she made a wrong turn, that this isn't the right way after all. Instead, she leads them into a room with a secret elevator hidden behind a bookshelf. It never occurs to Ichiban that this is a very strange mistake to make. I mean, how could you confuse a regular elevator with one hidden behind a secret passage? Still, the party takes the hidden elevator and reaches the top floor without incident. And after dispatching a few more grunts and avoiding some poisonous gas, they arrive at the leader's room. They open the door to a large, opulent room with an ocean view. A well-dressed thug with face tats waits patiently sipping a glass of wine. This is Dwight Mendez, the leader of the Barracudas, and he's been expecting them.
By the time you met the head of the Barracudas, name's Dwight.
Nice to know I've made a name for myself out here.
I'm surprised you made it this far. That being said, it's not you I'm surprised with. Now, the real surprise is your spunky little friend. You got guts betraying me like that.
Sorry, Ichiban. You know how I told you I escaped after they found me looking through the boss's study? That was a lie. The truth is, I actually got caught.
And just in time, Kasuga. It was right as you barged in. So I gave Chitose here a choice. She could die then and there, or she could do me a favor.
A favor?
Remember what I said? About how I might be leading you guys into danger or a trap or something. That... I meant it.
What? She did. And it seems our deal fell through. She led you away from my trap. And as a result, you ended up here, face to face with yours truly.
I see. That was at that elevator.
All right. She said she made a wrong turn.
I may as well ask. Chitose, why a change of heart?
Kasuga seemed like the better choice. Not much more complicated than that. I mean, have you seen how dumb this guy is?
Huh?
I've never met someone so sincere in my entire life. I had no way of knowing whether you'd keep me alive, even if I did follow your orders. Kasuga, however, is a different story. I don't think he's even smart enough to cheat someone.
Gee, how nice.
Really? Tell me this. Do you know what happens to those who betray me?
Who gives?
Dios mío. Who would have thought a Fujinomiya would be such a troublemaker? You must cause your parents a lot of headaches.
How did you know?
Did you expect me not to? The Barracudas have businesses with people all over the world. We would be remiss not to keep tabs on those in power. Besides, it was obvious from the start. The moment I first saw you, I knew you were just another spoiled brat. I figured I could use you, so I kept you around. I could kill Kasuga and the others anytime, but I drew you in for one simple reason. Their death would have been on you, and few things are so obedient as a guilty conscience. So it goes, I suppose. Don't worry, I won't kill you. No, I'll make you my bargaining chip and bleed your family like a stuck pig.
You bastard!
Appreciate the kind words, Chichan.
There you go again, Ichiban. You sure you're not mad?
What for? I made the choice to trust you, remember?
You really are an idiot, you know that?
All right, enough chit-chat.
Hey, hang on. I still got unfinished business. Dwight, remember the robbery that happened on October 7th, 2012? The target was Connie Tanaka, CEO of a well-known real estate company. On her way to visit a business partner, her car was attacked, and a bag of money was stolen.
And what's that to you?
I'm the one they took in for it, even though they had next to no evidence.
Oh, you were the fall guy. You saved me a lot of trouble.
So you admit it? You sicked Roman on me. Had him pin your crimes on me.
Hey, who can say?
Dwight, there's something I want to ask too. You were looking for a woman named Akane, right? Be straight with me. You guys have already found her, haven't you?
Only thing I'll do for you is offer you a way out. In fact, it's the quickest way I know. Cut to pieces and stuffed in a body bag. You know what this baby is? A machete. One of the most useful tools there is. It makes short work of the jungle, not to mention animals. And here in Hawaii, it's perfect for gutting fish.
Bring it on!
I think it's time I showed you what this blade of mine can do. Ready to bleed?
Dwight puts up a decent fight with his dual machetes, but he's ultimately no match for the boys with the dragon tattoos. But while he's much more cooperative after a good beating, what he has to say isn't as helpful as Ichiban would have liked.
Is Akane-san here or not?
All right. I'll be straight with you. We were looking for her, but she never showed up. If you don't believe me, feel free to search the whole floor.
What do the Barracudas want with her?
Honestly, I don't know.
You're looking for her and don't even know why?
It's not up to us. We got a request to look for her. We're just doing what we were asked.
Request? Request from who?
I don't know that either. They reached out to us anonymously. Sent it directly to my address. Seriously, info like that doesn't leak easily. And they sent $1 million down payment. If we succeed, we would have another $9 million coming our way. That's $10 million, just to find some woman. Sure, it was shady, but who would pass on that?
Damn it. You don't know anything else? About Akane-san? About who the hell's chasing after her?
If I knew any more, I would have told you already.
Ain't that something? That's the most real thing you've said all day.
I assume that about does it for all your Akane-san business, Kasuga?
Yeah.
Great. Then I guess it's my turn. You give me a yes or a no. That crime I got locked up for. Was that you? Both the setup and bringing in a fall guy? It was your call?
Answer me! Okay. Yes, damn it!
All right. So it was you. Do you have any idea how bad you fucked me over? And not just me!
Wait, stop, wait. Roman might be gone, but I can still wipe your criminal record easy. Just say the word. And I got money. $1 million. No, $10 million. Oh, okay. Hey, that'll give you a clean slate. And then some. You'll be set for life.
Like hell I will! You think money's ever gonna bring my kid back? You think money's ever gonna bring you back? Listen up. You know Chitose's name and face. You're gonna get rid of all the intel you have on her. She was never here. You got it? If you can promise me that,
You're free to go.
Well, it's your call!
Okay, it's a deal. I'll get rid of everything, and I won't tell anyone either. I swear it, I swear.
All right. Just know, if you ever go back on your word, I'll put this thing right between your eyes. Oh, yeah. And this lovely little number here goes viral. That's my promise.
So Dwight has been dealt with and Tomizawa has his revenge. But unfortunately, Ichiban is no closer to finding Akane. And now he's learned that his mother is being hunted by not one, but two criminal organizations, as well as a Japanese intelligence agency. And then there's this anonymous person willing to pay the Barracudas millions of dollars to locate her. Who is Ichiban's mother really? And why are so many powerful people after her? With more questions than answers, the party decides to head to Revolve to figure out their next steps. At Revolve, the party looks over the file the Daidoji have on Akane. It's not much. It amounts to little more than a photo and an address. But Kiryu hopes Chitose will know something the Daidoji missed that might help. Chitose mentions that Akane is the director of a local orphanage and suggests checking there for leads. Ichiban and Kiryu agree that this is their best bet and decide to check it out first thing tomorrow. The next day, the party arrives at the orphanage to learn that it's run by a religious cult known as Polycana. Apparently, Ichiban's mother found religion shortly after fleeing Japan and has worked for Polycana's orphanage for the last 40 years. They speak with a co-worker of Akane's named Dana, who explains that it's been nearly 2 weeks since she last saw Ichiban's mom.
Let me introduce myself. I'm Dana, one of the caretakers. I've been working with Akane 20 years now.
That's a long time.
Yes. And for her to disappear so suddenly, it's just...
Unheard of, right? When'd she up and disappear?
As of now, it's been 13 days. All she left was a single note behind, and that was it.
13 days. That lines up with what Chi-chan said.
Yeah. Dana, what'd the note say?
I resign due to unforeseen circumstances. Nothing more. Akane's always been so responsible. I immediately thought that couldn't be right. But the handwriting was definitely hers.
Did you report anything to the police?
Of course. But after the handwriting analysis confirmed the note was hers, they dropped the case. We couldn't get them to look into it any further.
I'm sure you've been asked this a bunch of times already, but do you have any idea where she might have gone?
Unfortunately, I don't.
All right.
With no better leads, Ichiban and crew offer to help Polycana solicit food donations, hoping one of the food vendors around town might have information that can help. Who knows, they may get lucky, and worst case scenario, they help the local homeless population. The party checks out the local food vendors and take out some thugs extorting the owners, but they strike out regarding Akane. When they return to Polycana with the food, however, a member of the faith named Kalen informs them that Akane regularly cleaned up trash at Aloha Beach in the evening. Again, with no better leads, Ichiban volunteers. When the party arrives at Aloha Beach, they find Kalen and a few other Polycana members praying towards the ocean. Kalen explains that they are sending their thoughts towards Nele Island, a holy place for the Polycana faithful named after their goddess Nele.
Were you guys praying just now?
That's right. We were sending our thoughts toward Nele Island.
Nele Island?
It's sacred land to us in Polycana. One of the small islands out there bears the name of our goddess. Legend has it, that's where Madame Nele rests her head.
Ah, So, is it like some kind of sanctuary of yours?
That's right. It's been protected since the Hawaiian dynasties, and even today, it retains its spiritual purpose. When I think of the ideal life, I think of being one with nature, nestled in the island's untouched bounty.
The ideal life? I guess everyone's got a different idea of luxury.
Yeah, you think?
However, only our sage is pure enough to set foot on the island, along with a select few who have demonstrated their virtue. Of course, I've never set foot on the island myself, or even seen it with my own eyes. Maybe if I became a Haku, that would change.
A Haku?
Haku is a title or a role given only to those with great merit and extreme devotion. They alone can live on Nele Island, and only the sage decides who's worthy.
Yeah? Well, with all the work you do, I'm surprised you're not one already.
It's very kind of you to say, but my faith is far from pure. Even my wish to become Haku is tainted with selfish desire.
Huh. So off the coast of Hawaii, there's a paradise waiting within paradise. You think Akane-san was trying to be a Haku?
I sincerely doubt it. Unlike me, she never showed concern for herself. She never sought recognition, rewards, none of that. In fact...
What?
Oh, well, this one time I asked her directly how she was able to be so kind and dedicate herself to others. What she told me, I'll never forget. She said it was her way of atonement.
Atonement?
For what, I wonder? Cutting out that Arakawa guy?
Guess we'll only find that out in person, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we get started on our activity?
The stuff about purity and the devotion they have for this sage is a little concerning, but they seem like decent people, and they certainly do a lot for charity. The party helps Polycana tidy up the beach, but they turn up nothing on Akane. Luckily, they still have one avenue they can pursue. Ichiban learns that Polycana members patrol the surrounding area at night, helping people in need and reporting any crimes they witness. Think of it as a mobile neighborhood watch. Apparently, his mother helped out every week, so Ichiban decides to follow her patrol route, hoping to find a new lead. Tonight's patrol is led by a man named Romero. He asked the party to assist Kalen at the Art Walls, a part of town famous for its street art and an area Akane frequented. When they arrive, the party finds a local shopkeeper being extorted by members of a local gang. The Polycana group intervenes to protect the man, but things quickly turn violent. The party makes quick work of the thugs, but one of them pulls a gun on the shopkeeper in desperation. But luckily the gun jams when he tries to fire. Before he can try again, however, a man in Polycana yellow steps in front of the gun.
Madame Nele, you see, forbids the use of fire in human conflicts.
Who the fuck are you?
Now, be good and hand me the gun. Attempting to shoot will only make things worse for you.
Get the hell away from me! What did you just do?
Such a pity. Allow me to tend to your wounds.
Get the fuck away! He's a monster! I swear he's a goddamn monster! That had to be a miracle. And I got to bear witness. Bryce truly is blessed by the goddess.
Who's this dude?
The sage of Polycana I mentioned. That's Bryce Fairchild himself.
So that's him.
Back at the orphanage, the party gets a proper introduction to the sage of Polycana. Bryce expresses his concern at Akane's disappearance. Like Dana, he doesn't believe Akane would just leave without so much as a goodbye. He doesn't have any information that can help, but he does appear genuinely worried and asks that Ichiban let him know if he learns anything. So Polycana doesn't know anything that might lead to Akane, but they at least invite the party to stay for dinner. Ichiban agrees, but while waiting for the food to be served, he notices something strange. Chitose is missing. The scene then cuts to outside the orphanage.
She's not over here, if you're wondering.
Yeah, I've been sticking with Ichiban this whole time. Actually, it turned out all right. If anything, that helped me earn their trust even more, so...
Hey! Chi-chan! Where you at?
I get that. Look, I gotta go. I'm right here, silly! Man, I'm starving. What are we having?
Back at the hotel, the party brainstorms their next move. With Polycana and the orphanage a bust, and the Daidoji as useless as ever, they're back to square one. With no ideas coming to mind, they decide to get some rest and figure it out in the morning. When Ichiban wakes, he's greeted by Chitose, who has had an idea. It's a Hail Mary, but with all their leads exhausted, they decide it's better than nothing. Since they've hit a dead end trying to find Akane, Chitose's idea is to use social media to get Akane to find them. She wants to film a video of Ichiban recounting his journey to Hawaii and his search for his long-lost mother. The hope is that a touching story like this will go viral and Akane will reach out. Again, it's a long shot, but it's the best they have. So the group heads to Aloha Beach to film a video.
Allow me to introduce myself. I come from Kamurocho. Some would call it the armpit of Tokyo, Japan. Born and raised from the suds of an inner-city soapland, the name's Ichiban Kasuga. Some have even called me the hero of Yokohama. Separated from my mother at birth, I am now on a quest to find her. And so I've traveled land and sea, only to find myself right here in Honolulu City. Mom, if you're out there, I just want to say I love you. And to everyone else, aloha!
He's a natural-born showman.
Hey, don't just straight up ignore the cue cards. Dude, I put my heart into these.
It's fine. This is way better material.
Now then, as this dragonfish on my back implies, I'm a former but forever rambling Yakuza. So while I search for my dear old mom, I'll be showing you all the sights this island has to offer. I call it Yakuza Kahuna Hawaiian style!
With the video recorded, Chitose needs a couple days for editing. In the meantime, Ichiban gets abducted by furries and conscripted into forced labor for Monopoly money. It is all very dumb and lame and doesn't really impact the story, so we're just gonna skip it. Is that okay with everybody? Good, I thought it might be. By the time Ichiban makes it back to Hawaii, the video is ready to upload, so the party heads to Revolve to discuss what to do in the meantime. The video pays dividends sooner than they'd hoped. No sooner than they sit down at the bar, Chitose gets a direct message. Turns out our old pal Achan saw the video and wants to speak with Ichiban. They arrange to meet near the Anaconda Shopping Center, and the party heads that way. Achan doesn't know anything about Akane, but he wants to help. With his computer skills and knowledge of the net, he figures he can be of some use. Ichiban has reservations because of the danger involved, but Achan is insistent. Sadly, the reunion is cut short. The thugs from the art wall are back, and they're not here for a friendly chat. It seems that they are members of a Chinese mafia organization called the Ganja, and they are also looking for Akane.
First the Barracudas, now the Chinese mafia?
Hawaii's just full of surprises, isn't it?
They're getting closer. Looks like there's about 20 of them.
What do you think they want?
Who knows? Either way, it doesn't seem like they'll let us go. They made sure to surround us before closing in. This was planned out.
Ichiban Kasuga, how about you come with us? The rest of you are free to go. We've only got business with him.
Shame we didn't make the cut.
We're looking for this woman. With luck, we'll put some heat on her son and she'll come crawling out.
Is that Akane-san? They're looking for her too?
What the hell? Who is this woman?
Huh. So these guys bit first.
Huh?
If the others would care to leave, now's your chance. This is your final warning.
You ready for this, Kasuga? It's pretty clear there's no other way out.
Yeah, what a surprise. All right, let's throw down!
After the beatdown, Ichiban tries to question the thugs, but they don't know anything of value. They're just low-level grunts following orders. For now, though, the party decides to head back to the hotel before more trouble finds them. Unfortunately, trouble finds them anyway. As they approach the hotel, they are confronted by a familiar face. Yamai has found their hideout. He's seen Ichiban's video, but he's not here about Akane or even Tomizawa for that matter. No, he's here to pick a fight with the Dragon of Dojima. Apparently, he's the leader of the Kazuma Kiryu fan club and wants to see if the man lives up to the legend.
Separated from my mother at birth, I am now on a quest to find her.
Hawaii's treating you well, I see. But what does that matter? I'm here for this one. It's a great honor to meet you, Kazuma Kiryu-san.
Kiryu? Never heard of him.
And he's a terrible liar, just as they say. My thanks. Now I don't have any doubts. You are the real Kazuma Kiryu, all right.
You know, I'll agree with you. He is a bad liar.
And here I thought I'd gotten better.
I knew you wouldn't die so easily. I just knew it. And to think I'd run into you here of all places. The head of Kazuma Kiryu. What better trophy than the head of a dragon?
You sound like an ancient barbarian. And their age is dead. Gone. As far as death goes, it could be our turn any minute.
Well said. It's coming for you right now. Try not to disappoint me, Kazuma Kiryu!
Despite getting his ass kicked, Yamai isn't particularly impressed with Kiryu's performance. He leaves but promises a rematch in the near future. He just hopes that the dragon makes an appearance next time. With their base of operations burned, the party needs a new place to crash. Kiryu explains that the Daidoji faction has a safe house nearby for emergencies. The party figures this qualifies and heads that way. They arrive at the safe house and are greeted by armed Daidoji agents. It seems they are a bit on edge and for good reason. To avoid detection from the US government, they sent only 4 agents to Hawaii. So they are badly outnumbered in a foreign country with no hope of backup. And now there are at least 3 organized criminal gangs searching for their target. So basically, they're as useless as ever. But at least the party has a new base of operations. It's here Ichiban explains that he had an ulterior motive for releasing the video.
The goal of that video, like we planned, was to have Akane-san come find us. That would have been our best case scenario. But apart from that, I was hoping for something else. If that video did its job, then we'd see everyone who's involved in this mess.
Huh? What do you mean?
A guy named Ichiban Kasuga plops down in Hawaii. He's looking for his long-lost mother. That info might have drawn attention.
And if anyone was gonna come after us because of it, well, they'd probably be pretty clued in on everything, right?
That's true. Ichiban made it very clear who his mother was. Anyone interested would have to be after the same Akane-san. No one would care otherwise.
Exactly. What's more, they would know I exist. They would have already known she's got a son. And if you didn't know all that, you wouldn't bother hunting me down.
So Ichiban figured the best case scenario was exactly what Chitose had in mind. Akane sees the video and contacts her son. But that was always a long shot. What Ichiban really expected was that every organization looking for Akane would target him, hoping he would lead them to their prize. This way, he could determine exactly who was after his mother and get some information out of them. Obviously, the plan is working. As far as next steps, Ichiban figures the Barracudas are out of the hunt after the events with Dwight, and Yamai is only interested in Kiryu now. So that leaves the Ganja as the best lead on Akane. Now they just need to find a Ganja in the know and beat some answers out of him. Luckily, A-chan can help. Rumor on the dark web has it that the owner of the Nirvana Hotel, a man named Wong To, is actually a high-ranking member of the Ganja. The only problem is that a direct attack on the Nirvana Hotel would mean certain death, so they have to find some other way to get to Wong To. Hanawa knows of a better way, however. It seems that the Nirvana has a secret casino that caters exclusively to Hawaii's elite, and Wong To personally serves the guests there. One last hitch, it's invitation only. And to get an invitation, Ichiban needs to demonstrate that he's a high roller at one of the Ganja's smaller gambling dens across Hawaii. So the plan is simple. Find one of the smaller gambling dens and get invited to the big kids table at Nirvana. From there, they just need to avoid getting shot long enough to get answers from Wong To. Nothing to it, really. After some investigation, the party learns that a Chinese restaurant called the Black Hibiscus is currently home to one of these gambling dens. They'll need to go tonight, however. It seems the Ganja moves their operations around frequently to avoid detection from law enforcement. If they delay, it may be too late. The party rushes to the Black Hibiscus to find what seems to be an ordinary Chinese restaurant. After some time, they begin to fear they were misinformed. It's not until the shop closes that they realize they're in the right place. Once the doors are locked and the shades drawn, the staff quickly converts the shop into a makeshift casino, just like they were told. Ichiban has many skills, but it seems gambling is not among them. Kiryu planned for this, however, and came prepared with a strategy to turn things around. It's called cheating. With Kiryu's system, Ichiban's luck turns around dramatically. Though, no matter how well he performs, the manager refuses to extend an invitation to the Nirvana Hotel. Despite his cover story as a wealthy businessman, he's simply not well known enough to merit a seat at the Nirvana. Luckily, there's one member of the party who is.
Mr. Manager, I believe the Fujinomiya family has been in the care of the Nirvana Hotel in the past.
Huh? And you are...
My apologies. I'm the eldest daughter of the Fujinomiya family of Japan. My name is Chitose. This guy here, he's with me. And so are all of them. So as long as they're with me, they're welcome at the Nirvana Hotel as well, correct?
Shi-chan! Hey, think for a second. What if your family finds out about this?
And you'll run away with me, right? Besides, I really want to help Akane-san. Well, that, and I want to show you I can be cool too. So, what'll it be, Mr. Manager? Run it by your higher-ups, and you'll quickly see I'm the real deal.
Just one moment.
You're sure about this? They'll almost definitely contact your family.
Well, this'll at least earn me a little more trust, right?
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Terribly sorry for the wait. I was able to check with my managers like you asked.
And?
My sincerest apologies for any trouble, Miss Fujinomiya. You're more than welcome at the Nirvana Hotel.
Great, thanks.
With the invitation squared away, the party just needs to decide the best way to get to Wangtou. Though, Kiryu brings up a good point. The Ganja know Ichiban, so he can't just waltz into their front operation, invitation or not. So the party agrees that Kiryu and Tomizawa will accompany Chitose, and that Ichiban will run communications from outside. And so, with their game plan set, the party makes their grand entrance at the Nirvana Hotel.
Miss Fujinomiya, we've been expecting you.
Thank you.
Man, this place is stuffy out the ass. Whew.
How's the view?
Crystal clear. Gotta hand it to the Daidoji. This really is just like 007.
If you say so. We're about to set foot inside. If we start to lose connection, let me know.
Okay. Look after those two, Kiryu-san. And be careful.
Will do. All right. Let's get this done.
Unfortunately, things go south immediately. It seems their fancy spy gadgets were detected before they even entered the building. Wangtou knows exactly who they are and why they've come. Looks like the stealth approach is out.
Welcome to the Nirvana Hotel. Your family's contributed so much to us over the years, Chitose Fujinomiya. Oh, and our unannounced guest, Ichiban Kasuga. Nice to meet you.
Wang graciously invites the party, Ichiban included, to his office for a private conversation. Unsurprisingly, he wants information on Akane. Considering that this is the very reason the team is here, they have nothing to offer. Though that doesn't stop Wang from trying to beat it out of them all the same. For a guy armed with a stiletto, Wangtou puts up a decent fight, but even with his minions joining the fray, it's nothing Ichiban and Kiryu can't handle. After he's beat, Wang tries to make a run for it, though Kiryu insists that he stay for a chat. After some convincing by Kiryu, Wang admits that he was following orders given by someone called the Overseer.
Why go through all this trouble to get to Akane-san? She's just the director of some orphanage. What's a nice lady like her got to do with you? Better answer while it's still me asking the questions. Kiryu-san's not as friendly as I am.
You were tougher than I expected. So I'm actually a little worn out. But don't worry. A few minutes with me, and you'll practically be singing.
Look, I'd prefer giving that mug of yours a break. Besides, you've got your boys watching you. Making you cry out in the open like this seems a little cruel, don't you think? I'd rather not embarrass you.
We were asked to look for the old lady. It's the same with the Barracudas. It's a request from the Overseer.
Overseer? What do you mean? Aren't you the Overseer here?
I'm not talking about some pit boss who runs things at the Nirvana. I mean the Overseer of this whole state.
Wait, all of Hawaii?
The Ganja and the Barracudas may seem like competition on the surface, but in reality, we're all just cells of the Overseer. In the end, he's the one pulling the strings. That meddlesome woman. She made off with the Overseer's treasure. If we were to get it back, then he'd owe us for all it's worth. In fact, I'm sure he'll pay that and then some.
The hell?
Before he can say more, however, it's revealed that one of his minions is actually a spy sent by the Overseer, and he's not happy that Wong is being so chatty. The man says that it falls on him to expose Wong To's betrayal. Showing slavish devotion to the Overseer, the man then jumps out of the window to his death. Apparently, his suicide was a signal to kidnap Wong To's son in the event he proved untrustworthy. The party rushes to protect the boy, but it's too late. He's already gone. Wong To had no idea how deeply infiltrated his organization was. More of his men are loyal to the Overseer than to him. With no idea who he can trust, Wong promises to tell Ichiban and Kiryu everything he knows in exchange for protection. He can't save his son if he's dead after all. The party gives the Overseer's men the slip, but not before one of them stabs Wong. With every criminal in the city looking for them, the party is forced to hide out in the woods while Tomizawa finds a vehicle. In the meantime, Wong reveals the identity of the mysterious Overseer, the man in control of the entire Hawaiian underworld.
You were looking for Akane-san. That's because this Overseer asked you to, right? You said Akane-san's on the run with some kind of treasure.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Just who is this Overseer?
The Overseer. He's got more control over the island than I'd ever thought possible. He plays spies in my organization, spies in the police. He's even got insiders with the Barracudas. And their loyalty, the lengths they'll go to, it's the real deal. You saw it, didn't you? The way that man jumped back there. He gave his life just so I'd be branded a traitor. For no reason other than calling me out.
The Overseer. The one in charge. Is Bryce.
Bryce? As in...
The Sage of Polycana. Conniving old bastard. He's the one who had us do the search.
No way. I met him. He's the one behind this? Why? After everything Akane-san's done, all she wanted was to help people. And now, an entire religion's coming after her?
Who would have thought that the creepy cult leader was actually a bad guy the whole time? Though it certainly explains the seemingly religious devotion displayed by the Overseer's minions. Wong explains that Akane isn't actually Bryce's target. Rather, she's protecting Bryce's target.
But why? I mean, wasn't Polycana... Akane-san believed in that stuff too, right? Seriously, why is Akane-san so important to these guys?
See for yourself. We caught this on camera about 2 weeks back. Polycana. It's their orphanage, right?
Sure seems like it. Yeah. This is where she worked.
Look here, Kasuga. The picture the Daidoji faction gave me is the same photo.
Whoa, you're right. Hey, tell me, who's this girl with Akane-san?
She's not just some girl. You see, Bryce is really after her. Her name is Lonnie. This island, Bryce may think of himself as its new god, but she could take that all away. The girl's his Achilles heel. Knowing how Bryce works, he'll do whatever it takes to track her down and snuff her out.
Snuff her out? A poor little girl?
So Akane is on the run to protect an innocent child from a psychopathic cult leader. Wong doesn't know why Lonnie is so dangerous to Bryce. Though judging by the resources Bryce has dedicated to finding her, he assumes it's serious. Before Ichiban and company can process this information, Kiryu's #1 fan shows up looking for Wong To. Wong says that Yamai isn't working for Bryce. His organization is just too small, so it's unclear what he wants with Wong. Either way, Ichiban and Kiryu aren't about to hand him over. The party tries to sneak away with Wong, but that plan goes south when Yamai decides to set the whole area on fire. It seems a confrontation is unavoidable. The party takes down Yamai, but they're still badly outnumbered and trapped by the fire. And to make matters worse, Kiryu isn't holding up very well. With how he's pushed himself lately, his health is deteriorating fast. Tomizawa arrives with the car, but the party is still surrounded by armed thugs. With time running short, Kiryu realizes that they aren't all making it out. So, exhausted and coughing blood, the Dragon of Dojima stays behind to clear a path for the others.
So this is how the legend ends, I see.
Kiryu-san!
Kiryu-san! Forget it! Just go! If we all get ourselves killed, Akane and Lani will have no one.
Chitose, time to roll!
No way! Not yet! I can take care of myself. Go! Kiryu-san! Kiryu-san!
Well. Wong To and Kasuga chose to cut and run, eh? All that, and the only thing I'm left with is a dying fossil. You know, there was once a time when I actually looked up to you. What a waste.
Back at the safe house, the mood is somber. They got the best lead on Akane they've had yet, but lost Kiryu in the process. Though Hanawa has some good news given the circumstances. The Daidoji have been monitoring Kiryu's GPS, and the activity suggests he was likely captured rather than killed. Of course, with Yamai, even if Kiryu is alive, there's no telling how long he'll stay that way. So they have to act fast. Unfortunately, with Kiryu gone, the party lacks the manpower to simply waltz into Yamai's territory. As usual, the Daidoji are useless, so they'll need to find help elsewhere. Luckily, the help comes to them. As they're discussing their options, Ichiban gets a call. It seems Nanba and Adachi decided to take a Hawaiian vacation of their own. They just landed and are ready to help out.
Yo, Ichiban!
Nanba! Adachi-san!
Sorry to keep you.
You guys are really here! Man, feels like a lifetime since we last saw each other.
Come on, it hasn't been that long. What the hell you been doing out here?
Better question. Who are the kids, huh?
Oh, right. Let me introduce you. This is Chi-chan and Tomi.
Yeah, how's it going?
We've been duking it out with every gang on the island. Now, we're all pals.
Hey there.
I see. So they're the new party for Hawaii, huh?
All right, but what's this about gangs? How'd you even get involved in something like that? I thought you were here to meet your mom.
Actually, it's kind of a long story.
Yeah, where do we start? I mean, I was born and raised in...
I think that's going a little too far back. Next time, yeah?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Kiryu-san's locked up in enemy territory. Give me a sec, and I'll get you guys up to speed.
Sure.
Sorry to spring that, seeing as you just got here.
This ain't the first time, and sure as hell ain't the last, right?
Yeah, what else is new? Sure beats sitting on your ass. Plus, it's for Kasuga. If I gotta get jerked around now and then, so be it.
Well, I told you they're the best, didn't I?
You were right.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Told you.
Yeah.
Right,
Should've known how to pick 'em, right?
Okay, we got a dragon to sing.
Keep that up. I'm gonna have to get some of that poke.
With Namba and Adachi up to speed, the party heads to Yamai's turf in Night Square. Tomizawa knows a woman who runs a tattoo parlor there who might have a lead on Kiryu. Unfortunately, when they arrive, Yamai's goons are already there. But that suits Ichiban just fine. He'll gladly beat Kiryu's location out of them. After some convincing, the goons reveal that Yamai is holding Kiryu on the top floor of the theater building. Good news, it's nearby. Bad news, it's crawling with Yakuza. But with Kiryu's health problems, they don't have time to plan or to sneak in. So, direct method it is. The party is greeted by Yamai's thugs the moment they reach the theater building. So they take out the trash and fight their way to the top floor, where the man himself is waiting patiently.
Wasn't sure you'd make it up here. Give yourselves a hand.
Where's Kiryu-san?
Oh, so that's why you barged in, is it?
He'd better be okay. What was that?
Ho, Tomizawa's tagged in too, huh? Little Tiger's got some scruff, strutting back in here. Then again, maybe I'm just a joke to you now.
Actually, I'd say that Tomi you knew is long gone. Now, give us back Kiryu-san.
Come on, as if flapping your lips is all it'd take. Don't forget, you used to be one of us. You want to get your way, you gotta step up to the plate.
Oh, great. Life lessons from Hawaii's resident psychopath.
And plenty of bark from Kiryu's little fan club. Let's just hope you've got some bite, eh?
Yeah, we got you covered.
After the beating, Tomizawa grabs Yamai's crowbar, intending to get some answers. But one of the boss's lovely ladies stops him. If they leave Yamai alone, she agrees to take the party to Kiryu. True to her word, Kiryu is fine. Well, as fine as someone dying of cancer can reasonably be. Yamai had his in-house physician attending to Kiryu, but there wasn't much he could do apart from patching up his recent injuries. It's here the party gets another surprise. It turns out that Yamai was only searching for Akane because the rest of the Hawaiian underworld wants her. And he doesn't even know who Lonnie is.
Yamai, what's your plan once you find Akane-san?
Akane? Oh, you mean the old bat?
Hey, have a little respect, will you? Anyway, why even bother going after her?
Because the entire Hawaiian underworld's on the hunt. I got no idea what she's worth, but I'll find out once I get my hands on her.
That's really all?
I've been in Hawaii for a while now, but it's hard making yourself known. The Barracudas and the Ganja, we're not fit to lick their boots. So if I can get my hands on their precious little prize first, I'll have a big, cushy seat at the negotiating table.
Negotiating? You act like it's a business deal. But really, don't you see you're just using Akane and Lani's lives to get what you want?
Everyone's on the prowl, and you don't scramble like that without good reason. By the way, who's this Lani you mentioned?
I'm glad you asked. Means maybe you still have a heart after all. Let me explain. Whether you believe it or not, well, that's up to you.
So, Polycana's golden boy's the big kahuna out here, and he's after this little Lonnie snot, eh? boring story like that, it must be true.
You mean you believe me?
Tomizawa's switched sides. Kiryu's got your back. You don't seem like too great a liar. Top of that, I now know why they're going nuts enough to chase some bird around town. I'll leave the lady be. I'm not so strapped for cash I need to prey on a kid.
So Yamai might be insane, but he's not completely without scruples. He at least draws the line at children. After the conversation, he tells the party to take Kiryu and stay off his turf. If they do that, they won't have any more problems out of his organization. Back at the safe house, Kiryu finally wakes up. Ichiban fills him in on what he's missed and begs him to get treatment and rest, to leave the fighting to them. Stubborn as ever, Kiryu insists he's fine. It's not until Hanawa gives him some hard truth that Kiryu finally understands.
Kiryu-san, think about it. You can't keep pushing yourself to the edge like that.
Sorry to make an ass of myself, but I knew what I was getting into. I'm all good now.
Still with the tough guy act? How are you in any way all good, huh? Kiryu-san!
Look here, I used to be a nurse, so I want you to keep that in mind and listen to me.
I know I don't have much time left. There's just something I need to do.
You mean rescuing Lonnie and Akane-san? You don't have a chance in hell.
What?
Go back to Japan and focus on recovering. Anything else, and you'll just weigh Kasuga-san and the others down. My mission has always been to secure Akane-san as quickly as possible. Objectively speaking, your staying here would be a hindrance to the mission. Kasuga-san is clearly worried about you as it is, and it would only stand to slow him down. Ultimately, that may end up putting Lonnie in danger. I doubt that's what you want. Lonnie and Haruka Sawamura are kindred spirits, wouldn't you say?
Haruka Sawamura?
As Kiryu-san might say, she's essentially his daughter. Once known as the girl worth 10 billion yen, she too was a poor child hounded by man's greed. Had Kiryu-san not protected her, she would have been all but erased, and with little fanfare. Lonnie's no different. Even in my eyes, her situation aligns with Haruka's in many ways. Kiryu-san, I can see why you're so determined to help her. However, in your current condition, you couldn't even rescue yourself. It doesn't take a nurse to discern that. Now does it?
As hard as it is for Kiryu to hear, he knows his friends are right. In his current state, he would only slow Ichiban down and could even get Akane and Lonnie killed. The best way he can help right now is to go back to Japan and rest. Ichiban promises him that he will finish this, that he'll find Akane and Lonnie and see them safely to Japan. Reluctantly, Kiryu agrees. For the first time in his life, the Dragon of Dojima must rely on someone else.
Akane-san and Lonnie need our help. Let me know when you find him.
Hey, you know it. In fact, you'll be the first on the list. All right, man. You take care of yourself.
Yeah.
The Dragon of Dojima left everything to you. Bet you're feeling the pressure now, huh, Ichiban?
Yeah. Still, I won't let him down.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching part 1 of the narrated story of Infinite Wealth. The script ballooned much larger than I anticipated, so I decided to split the video into 2 parts. The good news is that part 2 is already written and mostly recorded, so it should be ready pretty soon. But once again, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.